Hey there, hey there. I know that you want to offer your courses to businesses in 2026. You want to start getting your courses licensed, accepted, approved, and you're not quite sure how you're going to get your course in front of those people. You know you have something amazing to offer. You know you have something great that you can offer to schools, to businesses, to nonprofits, but maybe you're a little bit hesitant because you're not exactly sure how to get it in front of them. And if you get it in front of them, will they actually accept your course? Will they actually accept your program? And I understand that. And that is why I'm having this event at the end of the month called Course Connects. And you've probably seen a little bit about that if you're anywhere in my ecosystem. And you might be wondering, is it for you? Should I attend this, right? So let's talk a little bit about what it's about, right? Course Connects is an opportunity for you to, one, have your course evaluated by people who approve trainings for businesses, by people who have been a part of that process, who are a part of that process, who understand the decision making that goes into whether or not they're going to actually approve a course to be bought by the organization. And so we have several of those people who are going to be evaluating the courses, evaluating the trainings that you put in front of them. If you feel well, let me answer a couple questions, right? Because I've gotten this question before. People have been wanting to know, do I have to have my course ready? Does my course have to be ready to put in front of these decision makers? The answer is no. Your course does not have to be ready. Okay. As a matter of fact, they expect to be able to have some flexibility with your program. They expect to be able to say, hey, we love your program, but can you add a module on mindset, for example? They want to be able to do that. So no, you do not have to have your course actually ready. Okay. Especially not at the end of, not for the event. You just have to be ready and able to talk about your program, talk about your course, talk about how it can help them to move their needle forward as a business. You are going to walk away with some valuable insights from them. These are decision makers, but they're not there necessarily to like Shark Tank, we're in, we're out. No, it's not like that. What they're doing is giving you some valuable insight and feedback on your program and whether or not it's ready to be accepted by a business, their business. It could be any business, right? And so this will give you that insight that you're looking for into how do businesses decide that they're going to license a program. How do they decide that they're going to bring in external course creators? What does that process look like so that you can have that insider vantage point to say, oh, okay, I know how I need to put together my one pager. I know how I need to put together my proposal. I know what this needs to look like. I know what I need to do in order to have this accepted. And you're also going to be in the room with the folks who make those decisions. That means human resources people. That means L&D people. When I say L&D, I mean learning and development people within organizations. A lot of businesses do have internal learning and development teams that develop training for them, but a lot of them also don't, and a lot of them also want outside creators to come in and offer content or offer courses for those organizations because they just don't have it. I was literally just talking with one of these business leaders the other day who was talking about the idea that LinkedIn Learning, Udemy in particular, that there was a push a few years ago to really have these resources inside of their businesses for employees to have access to. But what they were finding is that resources like LinkedIn Learning and Udemy were not really doing what they needed it to do. Those organizations were finding that it was just kind of like a little nice to have trinket, but those trainings were not really doing anything to move the needle forward on what the business outcomes were going to be. How were they really going to prepare their leaders? How were they really going to prepare their admin staff? How were they going to use these resources for workforce development? And they were finding that they really weren't able to. Okay, again, nice to have, but so there is a move away from sort of the off the shelf, out the box courses, trainings that you would get from like a LinkedIn Learning or a Udemy. Okay, and so they're looking for people who have experience, people who have expertise, people who are able to analyze and provide training based on what they see. Adaptive learning is what they're looking for, where you can come in and you can see what's going on in that particular area in their organization and customize a program around what their challenge is. And you might be thinking to yourself, Kat, that sounds amazing, but I don't have the skill set for that. I don't know how to do that. That's okay. You may not know exactly how to do that, but that's why you know Kat the Course Builder. That's why you know KTCB, because that is what we do. That is what we do, and that's what we've been doing for the last 11 years. Okay. And I am a real instructional designer of over 20 plus years. And so the reason why I put together Course Connect was for this very reason, is because I see and I saw the challenges that businesses were having with understanding how to really bring in, sorry, just got distracted, how to bring in external course creators, how to vet them, what to look for, those sorts of things. And so I'm bringing together these three entities in one room. That would be human resources, learning and development, as well as experts just like yourself in your area to say, hey, let's make sure that we are speaking the same language. Let's make sure that we understand how these decisions are made, so that when you are talking to a Coca-Cola, a Delta Airlines, I don't know, I'm just putting businesses out there right now. But if you're talking to them about creating courses for them, you understand how to speak their language. You understand the questions that they might ask you about compliance, about SCORM, about WCAG, and all of these things, right? And so if you're not sure about that, but you do know that you have an amazing program, that you have something that businesses would want and need, maybe it's in the area of leadership, maybe it's in the area of communication, maybe it's in the area of trauma informed communications. Because I was just talking to someone the other day who is going to be at the event. She is with the Boys and Girls Club of America, and right now they are looking to have more programs around trauma informed care and communication. And so those are the kinds of things that they're not going to find on Udemy. Okay. They're not going to find them on LinkedIn Learning necessarily. Right. And so that's where they need you. That's where they need people like you who are able to um to 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 provide that level of training that they cannot get off the shelf, and that they probably do not have internally, just because that's not what they do. That's not what they do, right? And so Course Connects is an opportunity for you to hear directly from them, for you to hear what their challenges are, what they're looking for, how they speak to learning and development challenges and needs, right? So you can participate in two ways, okay? You can participate as an observer, okay? You can come in and participate and observe and hear from them. We're going to have fireside chats where we're having conversations around these topics of learning and development, HR, and external course creators, how they choose them, and that. And you can just come in and learn about what's going on and how to position what your topic is to these decision makers. Okay, so you can do that. You can also go ahead and present your program for evaluation from these folks. We have 2 sessions where you can come on. This is all virtual, by the way. You can come on and talk about your program. All right. You don't have to have your course ready. You're not showing them your course. You are speaking to your PowerPoint presentation and you're telling them about your program and how it can help businesses or how it can help a nonprofit if you happen to be speaking about nonprofits, or how it can help schools or whatever it is. And they are going to give you some really valuable insight as to what you need to do to get a yes out of your course, how to get to yes. Okay. And that's what you need to know. And that's what you need to understand. And that is the behind the scenes conversations that most course creators never get to see. You never get to see those, right? So as a 20 plus year veteran of the learning and development B2B space, I've been in countless conversations around this, and I have found the same problem over and over again, which is why we as an organization go in and we do consulting as well as workshops, helping all 3 of those entities to have cogent conversations around the training that they need, how to make sure they get the right training that they need, and how to make sure that they're getting the outcomes that they're looking for. Okay. And one of the biggest challenges that we see for people who are wanting to offer their courses in B2B spaces is just not knowing how to speak their language, not knowing how these decisions are made. And so Course Connects is going to give you that behind the scenes look, that those real conversations. These are real people, and they're going to help you to understand that. So who's actually going to be in the room, right? It'll be expert course creators, people who have an expertise in their area, also learning and development professionals, also human resources professionals, people who have to make these decisions about requesting training all the time. And we're going to be having some really in-depth conversations, and you're going to be able to ask some questions as well to help you to really understand how do you get to the yes for a business, right? What are businesses looking for? What are they looking for? And how do they expect for your course to be positioned to be accepted by a business? Okay, so how do you get your course in front of a business community? Well, one way to do that is to join us at Course Connects. Okay, it's happening on January 27th. All right, in just a couple of weeks. It's happening in January 27th. I am going to put the link down below for those of you all who are watching this on FB or YT. You can check around this video and you'll be able to click the link. I'm going to put it right here. All right, there's still some time if you want to present to the businesses. It's not a pitching event. You're not pitching your course. You're not saying, will you buy my course? No, you're putting your course in front of them for evaluation to say, hey, what can I do? What do you think about my program? And what could I do to get to a yes? What I need to do? What considerations would you be making to help me understand how to position my program? And you will get that feedback from these professionals who do this, who look at courses, who who have done all kinds of played all kinds of roles within that process that can really help you to get that vantage point that you're looking for. Okay. The goal is that when you leave Course Connects, you know what you need to do to get to that yes. That's what the goal of Course Connects is. Okay. It's happening on January 27th. That is January 27th. All right. I just put the link down in the chat. I would love to see you there and be part of the conversation. This is a professional event. This is not a pitching, event. This is not a sales event or anything like that. This is come to get what you wouldn't normally be able to get. And what is that? That is a behind the scenes look into how courses get approved. Okay. How does training get approved? How are these people saying yes? Why are they saying yes? Why are they saying no? What are some things that they're looking for? And you get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. That's what's really powerful about Course Connects and what we're doing at Course Connects on January 27th. Okay, so definitely let me know if this is something that that you're thinking about. If you have questions about it and you still want to present your program, make sure that you reach out or just say interested down in the comments. There's still, I think, a couple of spots left if you want to actually have your course evaluated by these industry folks. And yeah, so just to let you all know who else is going to be in the room and what we're going to be doing. For those who are going to be presenting, we're putting together a directory, and that directory is going to go to organizations like the Black in HR, the National Association of African American Human Resources Professionals, the Association of Talent Development for Atlanta, and Carib HR, which is the HR organization for the Caribbean, and others. Okay, so for those who are going to be presenting their courses for evaluation, you'll be in our directory. Okay, so even if you can't make it, that's okay. Your ticket will get you a we'll get you the replay. All right. We'll get you the replay. So I'm super excited for those who are already participating, who are going to be a part of this, getting their courses out there in front of these folks. And that's really what it's all about, because you can have the best content, you can have an amazing course, but you've got to get it in front of the right people. Okay. You have to get your course in front of the people who have the ability to say yes, the people who have the ability to give you feedback and say, hey, just go back and tweak this and do that, and then bring it back. Let's talk about it. Okay. So that's what happens typically behind the scenes, that most of the time you never get to see. But because of Course Connects, you will get to see it. You will get to participate. Okay, so remember that you have two ways to participate in Course Connects. Okay, so I put the link down there below, and so that you can check out the details of what's going on with it. I pretty much laid it out. Okay, this is what it's all about: getting your 10, 20, 30 plus years of experience, getting in front of the right people. Even if your course is not ready, remember, it does not have to be quote unquote ready in order to present your topic at Course Connects. Okay, so the information is down below or somewhere around this video. Definitely reach out if you have questions, and I look forward to seeing you at Course Connects. Okay, all right, see you soon. Take care and stay on course.